Hey, what's up, Staten Island? Top of Owner reporting for the Staten Island events. Another edition of Together SI Business Spotlight, virtual version. We're back to those, right? Hey, remember 13 weeks ago, 14 weeks ago, when we started, this was all virtual. It's been great to get out and about to places that we can and do these on location. But here we are now with Amy Racanel. Amy is joining us from the Child Mind Institute, where she is a clinical neuropsychologist, and also Healthy Brain Network, where she is a clinical manager. Amy, how are you?
Hi, Todd. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, great to have you on the program, of course. So let's get into the Child Mind Institute first and foremost, and what it is that you do. And yeah, give us a little history.
Sure. So we think of the Healthy Brain Network from two perspectives. There's the research perspective as well as the clinical offering. So from a research perspective, the Healthy Brain Network is going to be the largest pediatric mental health initiative. So we aim to gather the largest data set of pediatric mental health biomarkers. And so we look at children and their families from all sorts of different perspectives. From a clinical perspective, we provide our participants with a very comprehensive evaluation. I often tell families this is an amazing jumping off point. So this is more than what is offered through the Department of Education, free of charge. But it is less than you would get for a comprehensive neuropsych evaluation that you may have to spend many thousands of dollars for. And so we look at children's intelligence, we do a language screening, we do academic testing, as well as a comprehensive psychiatric evaluation. And then we gather a number of standardized questionnaires from children, from their parents, and from teachers if they're available.
Amy, talk to me about the Healthy Brain Network and what's going on Staten Island.
So as I had said, we provide comprehensive evaluations to children between the ages of 5 and 21 years of age. And I think during this COVID time, as we anticipate children going back to school, whether it's in a hybrid format, a fully remote format, or an in-person format, we're definitely going to see an upcase in various issues, whether they be academic issues, anxiety, right? So many of our kids, they haven't left the family home in close to 6 months. And now the expectation is that they fully emerge back in a school setting. And so the Healthy Brain Network is able to offer families an evaluation for any concern of this nature that they have. And then we provide pretty comprehensive recommendations about our findings. And so for children who meet diagnostic criteria for some type of learning, whether it be a learning issue or a psychiatric issue, we're going to provide recommendations. But even if there's what we consider sub-threshold clinical symptoms of something like anxiety or inattention, we're going to provide the family with symptoms. I'm often telling families, just because your child doesn't meet diagnostic criteria for a full-on diagnosis doesn't mean that help isn't needed or help wouldn't just be beneficial.
Oh, wow. Very interesting. Appreciate that, Amy. Let's dive into the time period around March.
Sure.
Boy, it's been how many months since COVID really started taking over the airwaves, the news and whatnot. What did that mean for you, your organization, and how you conducted business? And also give me a little bit of the challenges you've been hearing and all the stresses that children have been going through this time and separating from their friends and not having school. Dive into that a little bit too, will you, Amy?
Sure. So, in March, I feel like we were in an office one day, and by the next day, we went remote as much as we possibly could, which I have to say, in retrospect, it was a lot. We started doing full psychiatric evaluations via, as my mother calls it, the Zoom machine, full intake interviews. We were doing many questionnaires via virtual platform. And then as the pandemic progressed and as we realized this is going to be going on for a much longer period of time than we initially anticipated, we started to add and add and add. And for some families, we're able to do the complete evaluation via a remote format. As I think about some of the challenges children and their families have been going through during this time, as I'm sure you know, they can be immense for some families. Parents are trying to work from home. Kids are missing friends. Kids are anticipating, outcomes from the pandemic, going back to school. What if I get sick? What if someone gets sick? So there's any number of challenges that we're seeing children and adolescents face at this point, as well as families.
Yeah, sure. This spotlight, Amy, has touched every walk of life practically, is with regards to business owners, schools, new businesses, old businesses. We've run the gamut, so it's so interesting to see and hear you say the challenges that many of them are facing. It's affecting families and the kids and whatnot. With that being said, Amy, moving forward, short term, rest of the summer, we're in August. This is like a modified phase 4 of opening of things and schools up in the air. How's it going to work? What do you think that the Healthy Brain Network is focused on, and what are you hearing most going forward for the next few months, and how are you going to function in the virtual world?
So we are going to remain in a hybrid world. So we will remain for families that need to be seen via a virtual platform. Not every family is comfortable coming into an office right now, and that's understandable. And so to lower anxiety and to be able to provide as many resources and services as possible, we will continue to offer services via this type of platform where it is appropriate. And as we move back into offices, which we're doing slowly, we want to make sure that our staff is safe. We want to make sure kids are safe. We want to make sure families are safe. We will be offering more and more services to folks in person. And as kids transition back to school, whatever that looks like, as families transition back into the world, whatever that looks like, I think it's going to be extremely important to, as much as we possibly can, to let our children know what to expect so that we can decrease our own anxiety and we can decrease their anxiety. And one of the number one recommendations I have for families is, if they're anticipating that their child is going to go back to school in an in-person format, from today, start wearing a mask for even 15 minutes a day. And then tomorrow, make it 20 minutes a day. And the next day, make it 25 minutes a day. For those children who are going back to school in person, the expectation is that they're going to keep on a face covering for a pretty long period of time. And it's one thing to do that and go to a grocery store for 45 minutes. It's a whole nother story to be expected to do that for a long period of time and learn effectively.
Many layers of going back to school that I think we could probably discuss for an hour.
Sure.
We could have our own live show and have parents and kids chiming in with how life is going to be. But those tips are appreciated. Amy, really, that's really good to hear. The best approach for the children to take. Now, Amy, been a long 6 months. It's going to probably be another long 6 months coming up. Give me a silver lining out of all this, Amy. Give me some positive takeaway, something good to end this interview on, Amy.
Sure. So in February of 2020, if a parent came to the office or called in and said that her child or his child was uncomfortable with leaving the family home, and that mom or dad felt that he or she really needed to provide the child with an evaluation, at that point, I would have been stuck. I would have needed to tell the parent, I need to see your child in the office. If your child's unwilling to come to the office, there's really nothing that I can do for you. And I would have needed to go on and recommend what we would consider more like a mobile crisis type service for a child who's not going to leave the house or attend school. And it's making this kind of great leap. Currently, and through the last 5 to 6 months, what the Healthy Brain Network has done by transitioning to the online platform is we have spread our wings on the number of families and children that we can see. Children who would have otherwise been not eligible for an evaluation through the Healthy Brain Network now potentially can be seen in a remote platform, or at least part of the evaluation can be done via a remote platform. And so the Healthy Brain Network is able to offer so many more families evaluations who would otherwise, we would have needed to, kind of in the moment figure something else out for them that may not have been ideal.
Excellent. Oh, what a great way to end the interview. The ability to increase what you already offer and to offer your services to more people, certainly a silver lining at all this. Amy Racanello, thank you so much for the time. Appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you.
All right. Once again, thanks to Amy again. She is a clinical neuropsychologist, Child Mind Institute, clinical manager, Healthy Brain Network. A lot to go through for the next few months for a lot of kids. So might want to give them a call when it comes to preparing them for going in person or still working in this virtual world. Again, as mentioned, many layers to uncover here. And I think I could speak with Amy for an hour about the different precautions and getting inside the mind of a child and everything that has all the implication of what going back in person instruction means. So great interview right there. So thanks so much to Amy, and thanks so much to you for watching all these Together SI Business Spotlights reporting for the Staten Island events. My name is Tal Bavona. Look forward to seeing you next time.